Shabbat Shalom, everyone. For those of you who are here in our sanctuary, welcome to Temple Emet. For those of you who are on live stream, welcome to Temple Emet. This is the Sisterhood Shabbat. I would like to call Pat Alexander, who is the president of Sisterhood, to come forward for the welcome.
Welcome everybody to our Sisterhood Shabbat. It's good to see everyone here, and for those who aren't, we're glad that you are here with us. So we're going to start off, and we want to thank Wendy for coordinating all this. Yay, Wendy. I could not do it, so I'm glad she took it over. So we're going to start off with the candle lighting. And I'd like to invite all of our Sisterhood board members to join me over here so that we can all do it together.
That's Pat Alexander, Sandra Horwitz, Sherry Silver, Sunny Moss, Crystal Holtz, and Sandra Riker.
Okay, let me get over here. Let me get out of the way, Wendy. Here.
She's going to light first.
So I'd like to invite everyone to join us.
Page 120.
The ones I used to put them in work. Careful.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Wendy?
Yes. You may be seated.
Thank you.
Please turn to page 123. You can hold it, shall I?
You hold it. You're doing the thing.
And join me in the Kiddush. Here is the wine cup. If you do not know Hebrew and cannot read it in the Hebrew, the transliteration is on the same page. So I think that you can just go along as best you can. It'll be a good experience for all of us to hear your wonderful voices. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lama'aseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lamikrae kodesh zecher Mitzrayim, ki divanu v'acharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat lechaim. Yes,
Okay.
page 122 at the top.
Bottom.
On the top. V'yihiyeh erev, v'yihiyeh boker, yom hashishi. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. Pat will lead us at the bottom of the page.
The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all work of creation that God had done.
Thank you. You may be seated. Page 128. It's not on?
Yeah, but I'm
Yes.
gonna sit, there's the other one that we were holding on to.
Thank you, Pat. Page 130, I'm sorry, page 128. Look at the second song. Ma Yafeh Hayom. How lovely today is, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Page 138. This is L'chadodi. L'chadodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabla, l'chadodi. Likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabla. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom mevorach. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom u'mevorach. Page 140, at the bottom of the page, I'd like to call again Pat Alexander.
A song, a psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High. So proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with a 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai, how very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. The righteous bloom like a date palm. They thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they flourish in the courts of our God. In old age, they still produce fruit. They are full of sap and freshness, attesting that Adonai is upright, my rock, in whom there is no wrong.
And thank you so much, Pat, for everything you do. Please turn to page 144. I'd like to call Crystal Holtz to lead us in the Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, וילמד יפרח ירוטל וימליך מלכותי, וחייכון ויומכון, ופייד כל בית ישראל, בהגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו, יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויפרמן ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה לעילה מן כל בירתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמין רן וילמה ואמרו
You may be seated. We have another reading. You're so well trained, it's amazing. Sunny Moss, please. At the bottom.
On the bottom of page 144. Exalted and hallowed be God's great name. In the world which God created according to plan, may God's majesty be revealed in the days of our lifetime and the life of all Israel, speedily, imminently, to which we say, Amen. Blessed be God's great name to all eternity. Blessed, praised, honored, exalted, extolled, glorified, adored, and lauded be the name of the Holy Blessed One, beyond all earthly words and songs of blessing, praise, and comfort, to which we say, Amen.
And thank you, Sunny. Now you may stand for the Boraku if you are able. And we need to open the ark, please. Thank you, Sunny. Yes. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. At page 147, I'd like to call Susan Pizzell.
There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. There is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. Let us bless.
I'd like to call Sandra Reichert, page 148.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from the darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night, and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continuously over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv ar-ra'avim.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Page 150, Sandra Horwitz.
Everlasting love, you offered your people of Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night will we reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people of Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Oshev atah Yisrael.
Amen. Page 152 and 153. This is the Shema. Whatever is your tradition, you can stand if you are motivated to do that, or you can sit if you are comfortable doing that. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Page 154, I'd like to call Hilda Weintraub. To lead us in the Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shiftecha b'veitecha uvelechtecha v'derech uveshochbecha uvekumecha ukashartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchatavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvish'arecha. Leman tizkaru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hiyatem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Page 154, I'd like to call Judy Plattis. At the bottom of the page in English. Please join her.
You shall love Adonai your God. You shall love Adonai your God, your heart, with all your soul and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God.
Page 157. I'd like to call Sherry Silver to lead us at the top in English.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it's eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
Page 158 at the bottom. I'd like to call Sandra Horwitz to lead us.
Who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? Your children witness your sovereignty as they stood before Moses and Miriam. This is our God, they cried. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Gaal Yisrael.
Please join me at the bottom of the page. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. You have a song sheet that we passed out earlier. If you need another one, I have some up here. Hashtivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu Malkeinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake to morning's light. Teach us, God, what from light. Amen. 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 Page 162. The Shamru at the top of the page, and then Judy Rice will come forward to lead us in the English. Shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, Asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam, Barit olam, b'ni uvein, b'nei Yisrael oti. Oti le'olam. Turn on your mic.
The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed.
Page 164. We're going to do the Amidah. It's on 3 pages, page 164, 166, and 168. Please rise if you are able as the ark is open. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el, Gibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imaot, Umevi Gedula Livnei V'neihem, Laman Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer Umoshiach Umagin. Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, V'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah, Rav Lechoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, Umorid HaGashem. Mechachel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol B'Rachamim Ravim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, B'Shenei Afar, Michamo Chaba'ah, Umido Melach, Melech Memi, Umakaye, Od HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'kol yom, yahalalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh. I'd like to call Diana Wolf, the president of our congregation, for the sermon.
Shabbat Shalom. The sermon for this Shabbat is a collaboration between me and my favorite rabbi, Rabbi Cantor Didi Thomas. Because the parsha for this week, Vayishlach, has to do with angels, she suggested that my part of the sermon have to do, once again, with my personal experiences with angelic intervention. But this part is from Rabbi Didi. Shabbat Shalom. Our Torah portion this week is Vayishlach. In it, Jacob wrestles with an angel and is transformed. Transformation doesn't come without a certain amount of struggle, fortitude, and desire to overcome whatever state we are currently in and wishing to get out of. Sometimes we may not even know we are meant to evolve to some next level. Universal energies and forces, or even God, if you will, push us, drive us, compel, and inspire us. Inspire us to move beyond where we are, so change and growth can happen, and the ultimate design for our individual and collective purpose can manifest. Jacob wrestles with this angel that is thought to actually be Esau's, and gets a new name, and completely turns his karma around, his tikkun. The struggle, the intervention, and his desire to prevail redirected and ultimately validated his entire life, directing all of his energy and unique individual purpose towards that which God intended for him, and eventually for all of us, L'dor Vador, from generation to generation. His transformation lays the groundwork for all of us. The angels are always with us, challenging us, or guiding and supporting us, or protecting and helping keep us safe, prompting us to be our best selves. Now here's my part. For at least the last two lay-led services, I have given a sermon about angelic intervention. Now, I realize that this is a concept that is difficult to process for some people. We tend to talk about just being lucky, or things happening by coincidence. For some of us, that disturbs our concept of reality. It's hard to explain the unexplainable, and I get that. But if we really open our minds to the possibilities, it's amazing some of the conclusions that we can come to. Now, I'm not trying to make a believer out of non-believers. Think of me as a journalistic reporter who presents the facts, and then I'll let you draw your own conclusions. The stories that I will share tonight are all true. They are new to you because I haven't shared them with you yet, but many of you have heard my previous ones. So here's one, and this includes Amy. Amy and I were visiting one of our congregants at Torrance Memorial Hospital a few years ago. And many of you are aware that parking in that parking garage can be an absolute nightmare. The valet parking was full. We drove up to each level frantically looking for a place to park the car. And even though I have a disabled person placard, there was no place to park that car. So there we were at the level, top floor, the fourth level, and Amy was driving, and we stopped for a moment, trying to decide what we were going to do next. Suddenly, a car drove up to us, and a man rolled down his window and said, "Follow me, you can have my spot." So Amy followed him right into his parking spot, and he waved as he drove away, and we noticed that it was right next to the elevator, and we saw no other cars driving around. He was the only one. Now, if you were my husband, Tony, you would probably say, "Oh, you were just lucky. He saw you standing there, and he realized you needed a space, and he decided to lead you to his space." And I realized that this is a possible explanation. But we had driven right past that spot, and it was not empty. Not only that, it was so close to where we were waiting that I'm surprised they didn't see it, but okay, forget that one. Amy has a story about angelic intervention. We live right down the hill from Peninsula High School, and it was after work, and Amy decided to drive up the hill to the high school so she could run the track. It was twilight. No sun was shining as she ran. It started to get darker. Suddenly, she noticed that her car key was no longer in her sock where she had put it. It had somehow dropped out. She retraced her steps, hoping that she could find it, but no luck. If it was there on the track or in the grass around it, she could not see it in the dark. Suddenly, a man ran on the track right ahead of her. She hadn't seen him enter the track. and she described him as the most beautiful human being she had ever seen. She told him she'd lost her car key, and if he found it, she would be very grateful. He smiled and continued running on the track. She didn't see him for a moment, and suddenly he ran up to her, holding her missing car key. Amy was beyond shocked. How had he been able to find it in the dark? He continued to run the track, and Amy noticed that she couldn't see him anymore, and then he reappeared. And she said aloud, "I know you need to leave. I'll look away so you can go." She looked away, and he completely disappeared, and she is positive that he was an angel. Just a few months ago, and some of you may know this, I was walking in my neighborhood with Amy on a lovely afternoon. We had been walking regularly, and I always took a cane because since my hospitalization, my balance has not been so wonderful. My neighborhood is hilly with lots of uneven sidewalks and tree roots that push the sidewalk up. As we were walking, the cane flew out of my hand, and I landed splat right on the sidewalk, face down. I was in shock. At first, I couldn't move. Amy had been walking just ahead of me because the sidewalk was too narrow to fit us both. She heard me fall and turned around to see me flat on the sidewalk, face down. "Are you okay?" she yelled. I felt around gingerly. Even though my face had hit the pavement, I had no scratch. I was not bleeding anywhere. I seemed to have a bruised left elbow, and as I rolled over to the grassy part, I realized that I couldn't stand up by pushing myself up because I couldn't put any pressure on my left hand. Suddenly, a guy in a big SUV stopped his car right in front of us, and he asked if I needed help. Idiot that I am, I said, "No, I think I'm okay." Right. He did not leave. Then a guy appeared across the street and came running over and asked if he could help. I said I was pretty sure I hadn't broken anything, but that I couldn't get up. And without a word, each guy surrounded me and literally lifted me to my feet. I was able to walk, slowly, holding on to Amy, using my cane. The guy in the SUV asked if he could drive me home, and I thanked him, but I felt that walking home slowly was easier than trying to climb into his truck. The guys watched me walk to the corner. My house was just around the corner, a very short way. Now, to this day, I cannot imagine how I landed full force on concrete without bleeding or breaking anything. I had a sore left arm for a couple of weeks, but I do believe in angelic protection. How could I not? Now, many of you have heard some of my previous stories, so you know that I have many instances of what I believe was angelic protection. So I was in summer camp at the age of 12, and I was thrilled that I could take horseback riding lessons. I had always loved horses. I had two favorite horses. One was Missouri, and the other one was King. And whenever I showed up at the stable for riding lessons, I always requested one of them. One day, I was late arriving, and both Missouri and King had other riders ready to go. I was devastated. The only horse left was Crusader, a large black horse with a reputation for being very ornery. The instructor told me, "No problem, just get on his back and we'll be off." And a friend whispered to me, "Watch his ears. If they go flat, hold on tight." I really needed to hear that. We walked slowly out of the stable area on the camp road towards the riding ring. And in those days, we did not wear helmets to ride horses. And as we were calmly walking, I suddenly saw Crusader's ears flatten against his head. And the next thing I knew, I was on the ground. It happened so fast, I felt nothing. I was told that he bucked me off, and I did a somersault in the air before I landed on the ground. I could have been killed. I got up without a scratch on me. No bruise, no bleeding, nothing broken. "You have to get back on him," said the instructor. "No way," I said. I took the reins and I walked him back to the stable, telling him how rotten he was and that I was never going to ride him again. He did not look apologetic. I never did ride him again. Now, but if that wasn't angelic intervention, what was? Thrown from a horse, no helmet, somersault in the air, landing flat on the ground. Now, there is a magazine that I describe to. It's called Angels on Earth. And it prints stories about people's true life experiences with angelic protection. It's published by Guideposts and has a kind of a Christian underpinning, but still I have seen articles written by Jewish people, and I remember one written by a rabbi. They printed one of my stories, the one about the guy who showed up out of the blue at Angeles Oaks while we were on our way to our Big Bear cabin. I think I told you this story, but I'm going to tell you again. It had started to snow, and we stopped so that Tony could put the chains on our big Suburban. After I saw Tony struggling, I said, "We really could use some help here." And within a minute, a guy walked out of the woods and offered to put the chains on. And even though it was snowing and very cold, he wore a light jacket and no hat or gloves. And it took him about maybe a minute or a minute and a half to get those chains on. We were kind of astounded. Tony asked if he could pay him, but he refused, saying a cup of coffee would be nice. "You got it," said Tony. And so the guy followed Tony to the end of the parking lot where there was a small general store. I watched him enter the store. Both of them, they walked in the door. And when they didn't come out, I decided I was going to get out of the car, leave my dog Pumpkin in the car, and find out what happened. So I walked up to the store, and I found Tony inside, and I asked him if he had bought the guy a cup of coffee. And he said, "I can't find him. He disappeared." The guy at the cash register said he didn't see anyone enter the store with Tony. So on the way back to the car, I could see Tony's footprints in the snow, and I could see my footprints in the snow, but I didn't see any other footprints. Angels on Earth printed my story in their section entitled, "Only Human? Maybe." So angels are non-denominational. I routinely ask for angelic protection whenever I feel I'm in a difficult situation. They never fail to help me. Now, I can hear you thinking, okay, how come she gets angels and I don't? Where was the angel when, and we can all fill in the blanks for when an angel would have been helpful but didn't show up. Or maybe they did, and you didn't recognize it. Those little coincidences that shouldn't have happened but did. Now, there is a caveat. Whether or not you believe this, it doesn't really matter because it happens whether you believe it or not, but we all have a path. And that path is something that we are meant to follow. And like all paths, some are winding and some have treacherous places. And those places take all our skills to navigate. And some paths lead us into some very dangerous places. And this is because we are here to learn. Not just learn how to navigate a path, but to learn how to be a human being who can love and be kind and caring. There are lessons that we must learn from the experiences on our path. Have you ever noticed that certain types of situations seem to repeat themselves over and over in your life? And suddenly, you seem to suddenly figure out how to do it, and then you don't have it happen anymore? These are life lessons. And my dear friend Nancy, hi Nancy, she always says, "Oh no, not another lesson." So to respond to the "why don't angels help me" question, here is my answer. Angels will not interfere with your path, okay? That's kind of a difficult concept for people to process. If there's something going on in your life that you are meant to experience, you will experience it. And the other part of the answer is the angels may be helping you and have helped you before, but you just didn't recognize it as angelic intervention. So I encourage you to ask for angelic help. You may be amazed by the results. Something as simple as asking for a close parking space or asking for heavy traffic to loosen up when you're in a hurry will work. Why would you ask for something as mundane as a parking spot? The angels don't seem to care. Ask, and if it doesn't interfere with your path, you'll receive. But always remember to thank the angels when you get their help. Try it, you'll like it. From the biblical time of Jacob to our present time, angels have been present to help us transform, survive, and accomplish many things. So here, my friends, is my wish for you all. May you always walk with an angel by your side. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom. Thank you, Diana.
This is Angels on Earth. One copy of many that I
I've heard some of those stories before, and they're so interesting to me. And I'm glad they showed up for you. Before we do the Mishabera, I would like to tell you, I got a text from our President Diana late this afternoon, and our wonderful sister, Judy Pratkin, has a grandson. His name is Eli Joseph Orlick, and he is in the hospital. And so when we do our prayer for people who need the healing, let's think of him, and not only him, but Judy and the whole family, and Mallory, who's Judy's daughter. So there's a little picture I can show you afterwards that she sent, and he's in the hospital with a lot of tubes. He is so cute, so let's keep him in our mind. So we're going to do the Mishabera. So if you have someone that you want to send prayers of healing to, what we'll do is we'll sing the first verse. It's on page 371. 371. We'll sing the first verse, and then we'll give you time to stand and say the names of the people that you want to say prayers of healing for, and then we'll do the second verse. Page 371. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Say it to yourself. Say it out loud. Say your words out loud. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We will continue with the Aleinu on page 586, 588, and 591. Stand if you are able as the ark is open. At the bottom of the page. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, lateit gedula liotzer breshit, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נותן שמיים ויוצא ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו וגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת עד היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. You may be seated. Thank you. Page 597. I would like to call Sue Jones to lead us in prayer at the bottom of page 597.
Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those who our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. We remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death.
Page 598. Before we say this prayer, if you are observing the time of Shiva, which is the first 7 days of the loss of a loved one, you may stand and say their name of the loved one. If you are observing the Shloshim, which is the 30 days after the passing of someone, please stand and say their name. Sue? Stay standing. If you have lost someone during the last year, please stand and say their name. Sunny?
John Gore, Al Jaffe.
Judy? If you are observing yard site, please stand and say their name. Judy? Sue? Is there anyone else? Yes, Sandra.
My cousin Nancy Hart, Zelensky, and Sylvia Fagan's pocket.
For those of you who are still seated, please stand and let us remember all of the people who there's no one to remember them. Page 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yamechon, u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agola ubizman kori v'imaru, amen. Yehi shmei rabba mavorach li'alom u'lemei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar v'yitaleh v'yitalo shemei dekudashah b'richu. Le'ela mincho birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amina v'yama v'imaru, amen. Yehi shlomo rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imaru, amen. Oseh shalom bimramav. Huya aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imaru, amen. And you may be seated. May their memories be for a blessing. I'd like to call again our president, Diana Wolf, for some announcements.
She's here again. Shabbat Shalom. What a wonderful, talented group of women the sisterhood are. You did such a great job. Wendy, thank you so much for all that hard work. It was wonderful. Welcome to everyone who's here in our building and those at home watching on our live stream, YouTube. Mark Tannen and Andrew Liu, thank you so much for your expertise in making all this work. Our service tonight is sponsored by Sisterhood, and the flowers are sponsored by Sandra Horowitz in honor of her birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I hope you have many, many more. Yeah, we could do that. Let's do it. Who else has a birthday? Who else? Anybody? Sue? Stand up, Sue. Who else has a birthday? Anybody else? No? 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 Okay, here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sue and Sandra. Happy birthday to you. And many more. And of course, there is Dan Spector, our wonderful music director, on the piano, being helped by Hilda on harp, and Marianne on violin, and Amy on the baritone. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks to Tim Jones for providing security for us tonight. So we're going to meet for dinner at the Stonefire Grill, and you probably know where it is, Crenshaw Boulevard, off PCH. And we don't have any reservations, so we'll just gather on the left side where the long tables are, and we hope you'll all come. We are participating once again in the Thanksgiving Interfaith Service, and that's hosted by St. Lawrence Martyr on Prospect Avenue in Redondo Beach on November 23rd at 7 p.m. Rabbi Didi Kent, Dan Spector, Marianne Rothstein, and Hilda Weintraub have pre-recorded a musical presentation for showing at this event, and we have flyers here. They look just like this, and of course they've come out on our email too, but please pick up one at the back table. Gives you all the information that you're going to need. And those at home, watch your emails. You can attend in person or by Zoom. If you want to participate, just register in advance, or you can watch it on live stream, and the email announcement will give you the links for Zoom and the registration and the live stream. You should have by now received a flyer for our annual Hanukkah non-event fundraiser. That's this one. And we hope that you'll find a way to give something to Temple Emet in honor of Thanksgiving and Hanukkah. We thank you in advance. It's such a good time to give because, you know, it's the end of the year, how much we value your support. You know that. It's what sustains us. Guess what? Hanukkah is coming right after Thanksgiving, and our service on December 3rd is going to be very special. Now, of course, we're all going to bring our Hanukkahs and light them right here. But we are going to start with a Hanukkah dinner for the first time in a couple of years, right here, a catered dinner that's going to include brisket and salmon and potato latkes and green beans and carrots and jelly donuts, of course. So please, as you go out, there is a sign-up sheet. It costs $36 a person. Sign up. We want you here. And by the way, those at home, watch for your emails for details. Let us know if you want to eat indoors or outdoors. You can eat outdoors if you want to. We do have lights and we have heaters. Torrance Cable News is going to be coming with their camera team to record our dinner and record part of our service, including the lighting of the Hanukkahs. And they're also going to record a short interview with Rabbi Cantor Didi, and it will be shown the following Monday. So it's great publicity for us. Please make every effort to join us. Now, that sign-up sheet is there. I even put a pen there, so you can't say, couldn't find a pen. Please sign up. Let us know how many people are coming. More information will be coming later. Our last lunch bunch for this year is Wednesday, December 15th. Yes? I was going to get to that. Hang in there. I'm getting there. I'm just going to remind you about our last lunch bunch, Wednesday, December 15 at 12:30 at the Pan. That's on PCH and Oak Street. And reminder to RSVP to me. Now, as Pat has just pointed out, we need help. And on that sheet, it tells you, can you help us? Can you help us set up? Can you help serve? Because it's going to be a buffet, but you're not going to serve yourself. We need some people who will actually dish the stuff out for people. And can you help us clean up? Please sign up for everything, because we want you, okay? Now, mark your calendars for a very special event to bring in 2022. Our fabulous cellist, Ruslan Biryakov, and pianist, Brian Pizzone, will be performing a most delightful, splashy, melodic, toe-tapping, one-hour concert entitled Musical Fireworks, Saturday, January 8th at 7:30. And intermission will include champagne, desserts, and coffee, and a 50-50 raffle. This delightful fundraiser is sponsored by our Board of Trustees. At $42 a ticket, it's a great way to celebrate the start of the new year with our community. Of course, there will be a private live stream, YouTube, sent out to your email just before the concert if you can't be here in person. So watch your emails and the snail mail for the flyer. You don't want to miss that one. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Madam President. I have a question about the Hanukkah party. May we bring guests such as children and grandchildren?
You may bring whomever. They have to be wearing masks until we are eating. They should be vaccinated. It'd be nice, because everybody has to be vaccinated to come in. Okay? Answered question?
Yes, thank you.
Sign up for as many people as you want to bring. Doesn't matter. We love company. We used to always have a Hanukkah dinner, and we used to have brisket cook-offs and all kinds of wonderful things. We're getting back slowly, people, but we can't get back unless we come back. So we're going to start coming back.
Thank you. Before we do our closing number, which will be Adon Olam, a different Adon Olam, I want to again thank Dan and Hilda and Marianne and Amy. They rehearsed with me, Dan twice, and the rest of the band last night. And they are so cooperative and so supportive. And so thank you for your help. So our final number, and Dan, thank you for your support. Our final number is the Adon Olam. Please turn to page 625. This is a French Sephardic melody. You may have heard it in the past. I knew it from before. You may recognize it. Page 625. Shabbat Shalom.